Oh, hi! I didn't see you come in. My name is Mr. Evergreen, and I am a reporter. You may remember me from my puppet Pulitzer Prize winning work on Muddy Watergate. For my new show, I am staying in the city of Melbourne. I am sometimes joined by my co-ghost, Mr. Ghost. Together we will explore and investigate Melbourne, the people, the culture, and the locations. So sit back and enjoy the Dishrag. Oh, hey, Mr. Ghost.
Hi, Mr. Evergreen. Ooh, pizza. Let me get more comfortable. All natural. So I was watching this anime recently where a guy touched the girl's butt and then a giant robot punched the thing.
Oh, that's cool, Mr. Ghost. You know what else is cool?
My erectile dysfunction.
No! My visit to the Sticky Institute to learn about the culture of Zines in Melbourne.
Sticky Institute? I went to a Sticky Institute to try and fix my erectile dysfunction. So what's a zine?
Well, zines are like magazines, you know? Some magazines are about ladies' clothes. Others are about ladies with no clothes.
Yeah, but what's a zine?
Well, zines are like magazines, but without the MAGA.
Yeah, but what's a zine?
Just roll the clip. To learn about zines, I went to the Sticky Institute, a popular zine store. Sticky is located in Campbell Arcade, in a hidden passageway plucked from a manic hipster dreamscape that connects the iconic Flinders Street station to the Grey Street on the other side. There I talked with the man in charge, Luke Sinclair, a man without hair. So what is the Sticky Institute? I always consider a sperm bank to be a Sticky Institute.
I haven't heard that one before, that's good. So Sticky Institute, it's a zine shop. It's where we sell zines. So we operate as an artist-run space that's completely run by volunteers. So the days are broken up into 3-hour blocks and different people volunteer their time here to keep the doors open and to keep lots of zines on the shelf.
The Sticky Institute first opened in 2001 in conjunction with the Platform Artists Group. And so Sticky Institute was able to survive rent-free.
Just like my deadbeat son, Master Neverblue.
This allowed their business to grow and for them to establish themselves. Back in those days, Luke had hair. However, the Platform Artists Group was Family Matters. Sticky Institute was Steve Urkel. The two split in 2007. But Sticky was able to keep the location because they were super popular. Like Steve Urkel. The Sticky Institute is home to roughly 15,000 zines and allows creators to use both their printers and their typewriters. But what are zines?
It's a bit of paper or papers.
What are zines? What is art? It's a very broad question.
But it can kind of be anything, like
Mixtapes. People do mixtape zines these days.
So wait, zines can be anything? Even anime?
Let's see what Luke has to say. Can you tell us about whatever zines are?
Alright, so my definition of a zine is an independent publication. It's usually photocopied, but it doesn't have to be. It's It's usually made by an individual or a small group of people. So we're talking about a photocopied booklet, an independent publication, usually doesn't have any advertising or a small amount of advertising, and it's always made for love and not for profit. But if you look around here in the shop, there are zines which break all of those rules, and they're still considered zines, so that's my rough guide. But then there are zines which will break 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of those rules.
The word zine, as I understood it, was short for magazine or fanzine. The origins of zines were in pulp science fiction stories, as frustrated editors of science fiction magazines would form their own wacky and personal tales and share it amongst their contemporaries. I could relate to this, as I too was a frustrated product of science fiction. However, zines really took off in the wake of the punk music scene in the 1970s. People wanted to share their love of music and bad haircuts with one another, and could now do so with the rise of cheaper photocopying machines.
So people in the late 70s, this new music explosion happening, the mainstream media wasn't covering it, people wanted to cover this music that they were excited about, so they made their own zines in order to talk about that. But that's where a lot of these are directly related to, but you go back further than that, if you look at the Beat Poets, you know, they were self-publishing their own work. I read the book Vanity Fair a few years ago, and in that one of the characters, who's a very boring character, makes a pamphlet about hops, and he makes everyone read this pamphlet and he reads it to them. You know, so they were talking about hundreds of years ago, and he's very boring and no one likes it, and when I read it, it's like, yes,
I could definitely relate to that. The very boring and nobody liking me part.
I could too. I think a lot of zine makers could.
Oh geez, there's my whole childhood flashing before my eyes. And it's gone.
It's on this side.
How did you get involved with zines? Did you ever make your own zines?
Oh yeah, I think pretty much everyone who works here makes zines. I first came across zines in early 90s, so going to all ages gigs around Melbourne in the early 90s. Zines were an important part of that scene. You'd often go to a gig and there'd be a table set up with zines on it. A lot more music related zines then than what we have now. A lot of that work kind of went online 15 years ago. But I remember going to a gig at the Punters Club down on Brunswick Street, and it was a zine launch of an amazing zine. It was from Perth, then Melbourne, called Woozy, and they were having their launch, and they had a table full of zines. As you walked in, I thought the content was incredible, the printing was amazing, and then I looked around the room and there was about 20 people there, and I was like, how come there's not more people at this gig? This is really strange. And then one of the bands played, I think it was Fong, who were a good band at the time, and they thanked everyone for coming, and they thanked everyone by name because they knew everyone who was there, and they got to the end of the line and me and my friend were there, and they said, and thanks to the 2 new people.
Oh man.
I was like, yes, I like this. So I picked up those zines and then started making my own zines.
The city of Melbourne has a very robust zine community. However, zines remain somewhat of an alternative culture. Zines can be raw and scrappily made, just like me. However, Luke believes anybody can make a zine.
So can anybody make a zine?
Anyone can make a zine, yes.
You heard it right here, kids. Even you stupid kids at home, can make a magazine, or a zine, which is like better, right?
I think so. What do you think?
I don't know, I can't read. I'm a journalist and I can't read.
You don't have to read, someone can read it too. You don't need words though.
That's why this thing's videos. Every time it's like acid jazz when I get on the typewriter.
Oh my god, all these ideas! Oh, how do I stop them? Oh no, what do I do? All the ideas flow into my brain! Oh god!
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Luke.
Make a zine, bring it down.
Sure. Sure thing.
Wait, did you just agree to make a zine?
No.
You know what, I think in order to understand the culture surrounding zines, we have to make our own zine, full of giant robots and 600-year-old anime girls.
Alright, Mr. Ghost. A promise is a promise. How do we start?
I don't know, not feeling too creative. In fact, I don't really feel anything at all except a lingering sadness and an overwhelming amount of existential dread, as well as a hatred for my wife, who buried an axe deep within my cranial, ending our relationship.
Well, we gotta get creative somehow.
None of this seems to be working.
You know, I went to a zine festival to talk to some local zine creators. Maybe watching them could help. To learn more about zines and the local culture, and to gain inspiration for my own zine, I went to the Festival of the Photocopier, held in the Melbourne Town Hall. The first thing I noticed was the diversity of the artists. There were zines of every type and genre imaginable, and the artists themselves, well, they ranged from 6 to over 60.
Hi, Luke. Nice to see you here.
Nice to see you again.
So, how many stalls have you had here today?
So we have had just under 300 stalls here today. And we've run this festival for 11 years and it's got bigger by roughly a quarter every year. So that's an extra 50 stalls we've had this year on last year.
Well, that's a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
So, what's with the hard hat? Have you tried out for the village people?
It's just so that people can see where we are. So the organisers wear the hard hat. So if people have questions like, I want more chairs, they can come and ask us and they can find us.
So, are you kind of responsible for this festival?
I'm one of the coordinators, yes. So I've helped coordinate all 11 that we've had here.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Luke.
Hey, thanks for coming. Did you get some zines?
Oh, yeah, I got a few zines.
That's good news. We'll see you next year, maybe.
Yeah, see you next year. Just one more thing. You're the sheriff?
I'm the sheriff. Sheriff of Zine Town.
I better do nothing wrong. In the future. I mean, I've already done
That's
a lot
right.
of wrong things.
As long as you're making zines, the sheriff's happy.
Oh, cool. You know, I'm working on my own zine. Maybe I can show it to you one day.
Do it. That'd be great.
Hi, I'm Miss Evergreen. What are your names?
Hi, Mr. Evergreen. I'm Natalie, and this is Kevin.
Mr. Evergreen. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing great. So, what is it that you have here?
Well, these are my comic books / zines, whatever you'd like to call them, and I call myself Drongo Press because I just like the word Drongo. I am not a big fan of globalization, so I like to draw back my nostalgic memories of this makes no sense. I might start again.
This makes complete sense. A lot of people on the train here call me a Drongo.
So my next question, are you two clones?
No, we're not. We're just twins, so we just look alike. That's all there is. Yeah.
I have clones. I'm the only survivor. I have to kill them all.
No.
I'm the only one left.
Okay. Wow. That sounds like a tragic backstory, Mr. Evergreen. Are you okay?
No.
Are you mentally scarred?
I'm not gonna answer that. So what do you like most about Zines?
It's free to publish. You can do whatever you want and draw whatever you want. And you can make it into any format. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can basically do whatever you like. Words, novels, drawing, unfinished drawing. Yeah.
So comics can be zines too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You've been in here for a while.
So what is it that you two do?
We both make comics.
But yeah.
We both work at a comic studio in Brunswick called Switchface Studios. So it's us and a couple other people along this line. We all share a studio space just near Victoria Station in Brunswick. And we make comics and zines and stuff like that.
Awesome. Can I go one day?
Yeah, it's open to the public. Anybody can come in and say hello.
Even puppets.
Even puppets.
Oh, sweet. So,
yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
What do you do, baby?
Maybe, like, not every puppet.
I mean, like what, that punk ass Kermit?
always worked out well.
Yeah, no good.
Oh, good. I hate that guy. So, is there a lot of money to be had, it seems, in independent comics?
No, most of the time it's for love.
You heard it right here, folks. It's just for love.
It's just for love.
The artists at the festival, the Photocopier, didn't have a lot in common on the surface, but all of them had a passion for zines. I could feel their passion, and it really, really inspired me to be better at making my own zine. I really, really hope Luke will like this. Now, the people's passion was one thing, but I needed just a little bit more of a kick. Inspiration from all the types of zines I saw at the festival, the Photocopier. I used illustrations and photographs, as well as utilizing some of my journalism and storytelling skills. I hope Luke really enjoyed my zine. I hoped it was the most exciting and entertaining zine he'd ever seen. I went to go visit Luke the next day to show him the results.
Oh, hi, Luke. I finally finished my zine.
Good to see you, Mr. Evergreen. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
Do you want to stock it here?
Oh, I'd love to stock it here.
Great. Sign right there, and you're good to go.
I worked really hard on it.
Yeah, I can tell.
I put my blood, sweat, and tears in that.
Photographs. It's looking good. We'll let you know when they've all gone. Bring some more in.
You mean you have to make more than one?
Gotta make more than one.
But I only have so much blood, sweat, and tears.
It's hard work, this making zines.
That's not ink, you know. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Luke. Thanks so much.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for the zine.
I had a great time and met a lot of great people in my journey to discover what a zine is. Which is why I was kind of sad when I learned that the Sticky Institute, along with the eastern side of Campbell Arcade, may be destroyed in the Metro Railroad Network's plan to open up the bottleneck. Now, usually opening up bottlenecks is fun, although sometimes there can be casualties. So I was a little bit sad. I'll always have the memories and the experiences, and oh boy were they great. I really enjoyed my time, and I'm thankful for everybody who talked to me. And I really hope that the future for Sticky is a bright one. And I hope you kids at home, well, I hope you learn a lot too, and I hope you can now make your own zines. You stupid kids at home.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed learning about zines in Melbourne. Any closing remarks, Mr. Ghost?
I really wish I hadn't sold both of my kidneys on the black market for food for pizza.
You know, I don't think he knows what pizza is.